Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to explain about the important questions which are displayed on my screen. You can see here there are 13 questions. I am going to discuss in this video about these 13 questions. Okay, I will provide a clear evidence for each of this topic. Okay, let us discuss what is these questions. Many people have doubt about how much time should I give. The time which are not same for working as well as non-working students. Okay, that's why the working student should give some time, and the non-working student will need to give some more time as compared to the working student. Okay, in this video, in this next season, I'm going to tell about that how much time should a student give to this study. Okay, and the another question is that which one is better, whether reading a newspaper is better or reading daily magazine is better. Which one is better to succeed in UPSC? Okay, let's discuss that also. And in this video I am going to show the syllabus decoding, how to decode the syllabus and understand the importance of the subject. Okay, and importance of the topics which are majorly reflected in the mains as well as prelims. Okay, and how to start the reading. Okay, whether we need to start the reading from NCERTs or by taking the standard books. Which one? By taking which one we need to start the reading. Okay, and I'm also explaining about the importance of the revision. Okay, many people read everything. They read notes, they read NCERTs, they read their short notes, everything they read, but they lacks in revision. The revision plays a key role. Everyone knows about this. Okay, without revision you can't succeed in the UPSC examination because there is a lot of things to remember. That's why revision plays a key role. In this video, I am also going to explain about how to revise the topics and how to write those revision topics. Okay, and short notes. The short notes is very important because we can't read entire 7 subjects before one day of preliminary exam. So the short notes comes into picture here. The short note saves a time and provides entire subject knowledge within 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so that we can finish entire seven subjects within one day before the examination. Okay, and MCQ solving. Okay, the MCQs are very important for validation as well as to write essay as well as the answer writing, because the MCQ solving will provide a facts and many knowledge, and it also acts as validation for our notes. Okay, whatever we miss in the classes, that we can be covered through the MCQ solving. Okay, when should I start answer writing? Okay, according to me, we should start answer writing after completing the polity, economy and science and technology, so that it will be easy for us to write answers. Okay, when to start essay writing? It also same thing, after completing the polity, economy and science and technology, so that it will provide more knowledge, and it also provide, these subjects provide overview of all the other subjects also. That's why. Okay, many people have doubt about the whether we can read by self or we should go to coaching. There are many students are facing this dilemma, so that in this video I am going to explain this with clear evidence. I am going to explain in this video. Okay, how to choose an optional subject is a big question for students. Okay, many people choose a wrong optional subject, later they realize that they are not capable of this subject. So I will provide some knowledge to choose this optional subject. Okay, and there are many students who commit a common mistakes in this process because they think that we are in a right track, because they don't know what is the right track. That's why I will provide some mistakes that should avoided by the students during this process. Okay, and at last I will provide my notes, my class notes and NCERT and short notes, so that it will be useful for you guys uh, to keep it as example for your notes. Okay, let us start from, let us take each topic. First we can take the how much time should I give for study. Okay, hello friends, In this video I am going to discuss about the time. Okay, how much time should a student should give to UPSC studies. Okay, I divided the time into two categories. You can see here, for non-working individual as well as working individual. The non-working individual should give at least 10 hours per day. The working individual should give at least 5 hours per day. And I clearly classified this time. You can see here, according to me, 1 hour should be dedicated for current affairs, in which you either take a newspaper or a magazine. Which one should take? I will discuss that in later videos. Okay, and the 1 hour should be dedicated for the revision of yesterday topics. Whatever you finished yesterday, that should be revised today. After revising this, you should give at least 30 minutes for answer writing. Under answer writing, you should write 2 questions from GS and 1 question from optional. You may get a doubt that from where should I bring these questions. Okay, for that I made a video regarding the syllabus decoding and previous year questions analyzing. If you decode the syllabus and analyze the PYQs, then it will be easy for you to bring these questions. Okay, I will discuss that in the later videos. Okay, the next 4 hours should be dedicated for GS subject. Okay, the another 1 hour should be dedicated for solving 30 MCQs per day. Okay, you should solve the 30 MCQs and read their synopsis, and you need to make a notes. I will clearly explain this in the upcoming videos, that how to make a notes, whether we should write entire synopsis here or we should create a short synopsis by saying the synopsis. I will explain in that video. Okay, and later you should dedicate 2.5 hours to optional subject also. Optional subject is very important. You should not neglect this optional subject. Okay, coming to the working individuals, the working individual should give at least 5 hours per day. Okay, under which he can give 2 hours in the morning and the 3 hours in the night. Okay, in the 2 hours in the morning, he can give a 30 minutes for current affairs, under which either he can read a newspaper or a magazine. Okay, and another 30 minutes he should give for revision of yesterday's topic. Okay, and another 30 minutes he should give for the answer writing after revision, completing the revision, under which 2 questions of GS and 1 question from optional. Okay, and another 30 minutes in that he should solve at least 20 MCQs, and he should read the synopsis and make the notes of their synopsis. Okay, and another 2 hours should be dedicated to the GS subject and 1 hour should be dedicated for the optional subject. And it's optional, guys. Okay, if you want, you can dedicate 4 days for entire GS and another 2 days for entire optional. That's your wish. You can choose, you can modify this timetable as per your convenience also. Okay, it's just I provided a overview here. Okay, you can see here the note. I written a note here. Every Sunday test is mandatory for both prelims as well as the mains, and every Sunday the student should write 1 essay. It's mandatory, guys, because without these tests, you whatever you do, it's all waste of time. Okay, waste of time, waste of energy. Rather than keeping that time here, you should invest that time into somewhere it will give a more yield. Okay, if you don't have ability to solve a test, please don't come to this field. Okay, test is very important. Okay, end of the year, end of the December means if you started in the January, then for you it is end of the year means it's December. Okay, end of the year, all the students should complete at least 1000 MCQs of all subjects. Okay, what is 1000 MCQs of all subjects? It include history, polity, geography, everything, and 100 questions of each main subject. Okay, 100 questions of each main subject, which means that for 100 questions of polity you need to complete 100 questions of geography, 100 questions of history you need to complete like that, and at the last you should complete at least 20 essays. Okay, guys, it's mandatory, guys. Please don't compromise on these 2 points. Okay, if you compromise this, then you are going to compromise on entire UPSC journey. Okay. Okay, this is the video, guys. If you like this video, then please do like and subscribe. Okay, please note down this. Note down into a book. If you want, I will provide this PDF also. However, I need to discuss some other topics also. At the end of the all topics, I am going to provide the PDF also. Okay, and this is the first question, guys. In the next video, I'm going to in the next topic, in the next season, I'm going to take another question. Okay. Hello friends. The next question is whether we should read a newspaper or a daily magazine. This is question for many aspirants. Okay, in this video I'm going to showcase here everything, how I read the current affairs, and how I made the notes of current affairs also. Everything I'm going to show here. Okay, you can see here I taken many questions also. When to start the reading news. Okay, the nature of questions in the pre and mains, how to use current affairs. Okay, and also I provided my notes, how I made the notes by using the current affairs. You can see here I will, in this video I'm going to explain each and everything. Okay. Okay, first we start from here. Okay, the newspaper. You can see I explained about this. The newspaper improves your language. Okay, and the newspaper is easily accessible. It will not distract you from the track because it's not a mobile, so that you can be on track. Okay, there is no FOMO at the time of exam. FOMO in the sense fear of missing out. Okay, many people, many students think that if they not read the newspaper at the time of the examination, they feel that I have missed everything. They will get panic and they lose out the competition. Okay, they lose the exam. Don't do that mistake. Okay, and in the newspapers we can see the editorials. Okay, that helps in essay writing as well as the answer writing. It helps in the structuring. Okay. Okay, guys, what happens when we read a magazine? The magazine is a ready-made notes. All of you know about this. Okay, it's a ready-made notes, and this helps in the revision. How? I will explain. See, the magazine contains static as well as the dynamic. Static as well as the dynamic. If you read the magazine, there you can read both static as well as the dynamic. It will act as a revision for you. Okay, and this magazine is very simple language, mentioned in very simple language, very simple English. It can be understood for everyone. Okay, and the major drawback of this magazine is there is no editorial present in this magazine. Okay, you should decide, guys, which one you should take. Okay, it's up to you which one to choose. Okay, I just written each and everything, what is the importance of that. It's up to you. Okay, another question is that when to start reading a news or newspaper or magazine. When to start? Okay, if you start at initially, you don't know about the terms which are mentioned in the news, such as inflation, balance of payment crisis, and constitutional amendment. You don't know about anything. Okay, that's why you should read a news after completing the subjects, important subjects like polity, science and technology, and economy. Okay, friends, this takes a 3 months. Okay, these subjects take a 3 months. Each subject take one month. After a 3 months, you can start reading a newspaper. Okay, friends, I hope you got an idea about when to start. Okay, the another question is nature of questions which are given in the prelims as well as the mains. Okay, there are three types of questions, guys. Okay, which are direct questions. The direct questions are directly come from the schemes, summits as well as reports. Okay, the analytical questions, these require a conceptual understanding. Okay, these are majorly asked in economy. as well as a polity. In economy, they will test your knowledge by providing a inflation, by asking the inflation topics, under which you need a more conceptual clarity. Okay. And the third type of question is that static is linked with the current affairs. Okay. Here, these questions are majorly asked from the polity, economy, and the science and technology. For example, you see here in polity, in prelims, they ask about the articles. They ask about the articles, and the articles are static, right? They also ask about the amendments for that articles. It is dynamic. Okay. They will ask about the committees of parliament. The parliament's committees are dynamic, and they will ask about the functioning of the and any recent issue about that committee. Example, ethics committee, which is recently asked because it is in news. Ethics committee is a static body, and the functioning and any amendments is dynamic body. Okay, like that they will ask in the examination. And in mains as well as the essay, what type of questions can we expect from these current affairs? Okay, we are seeing in recent past that every government is saying about UCC, which is under Article 44, and one nation, one election. It's not demonetization, it's delimitation, guys. Please correct this. It's delimitation. You are seeing that Tamil Nadu government is rejecting the delimitation. South Indian states are rejecting the delimitation to happen. That's why it's a news. So there is high chances of coming these topics. That's the importance of current affairs. Okay. Next, how to use these current affairs? You may get the doubt. What is the need of current affairs, right? Okay, I will clear that doubt in this video. Okay, please make a separate notebook for current affairs. You should divide the separate notebook into number of subjects. Example, if you want to divide that into a 7 subjects, you can divide that, or you can divide it for 3 subjects. Another 3 subjects, you can make the note into another book also. It's up to you. Okay, which topic you see in the news, whatever topic you see in the news, you just write the heading of that news. Okay, you just need to write heading of this news, and under the heading, if you feel that this point is very important and this point I can't remember from the static, or any point which is missing from your static syllabus or any class notes, then that point should be reflected into your notes. Okay, I will show you the example. Okay, don't worry about that. I will show you the example. Okay, every week you should do a revision of these notes. Okay, the current affair notes. Okay, while revising the static subject, you should bring these current affair notes to the static subject. You need to link these current affairs as well as the static and revise everything one time, so that you can remember for a long, and you can also remember about the important topics which were in news. Okay, okay, now we can see here how I made notes. Okay, you can see I made a notes of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which was in news because India were chairing the summit in 2023. It's old, but I'm just showing for your example. Okay, I don't know about the when does India and Pakistan joined into Shanghai Cooperation Organization. That's why I written this. Okay, see, in 2017, India and Pakistan under Astana summit, they joined under Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, you can see here I also written its secretariat present in the Beijing. The official languages, there is a chance of asking official languages in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It's Russian as well as the Chinese. I written very clearly the objectives. You can see here objectives: address the security concerns, settle the border issues, military cooperation and information, counter terrorism, cooperation in the education, energy, transportation. You can see here I also written the objectives very clearly. Okay, and India conducted this meeting in 2023, under which we took a theme. We provided a theme called secure. Okay, secure means it has some meaning. It's no need now because it's already its time is gone. Okay, under which we given 5 pillars. The 5 pillar in sense we need to encourage the youth. We need to bring digitalization. Uh, we need to encourage the startups. We need to encourage traditional medicines, and we need to conserve the Buddhist heritage sites. Like that, we provided 5 pillars, and we provided chance to Iran to join in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And this summit also made Akashi as a first tourism and cultural capital of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. You can see, guys, I written entire. If you go through this, you can write up to 350 to 400 words by seeing these 4 to 5 lines. Okay, the depth it contains. Okay, and you can also see here. I will explain another topic also. You can see here NATO. NATO was in news because of Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, the NATO was made under Washington Treaty, Washington Consensus. Okay, Washington Treaty. Okay, under NATO there is article called Article 5, which says that if any NATO country is threatened by any non-NATO country, then all the NATO countries should come together to rescue the NATO country. Okay, you can see here the NATO plus. It was asked in the examination also. NATO plus, under which New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Israel, as well as South Korea are there. India do not have any role in the NATO, because if we play any role in NATO, then we will lose our friend Russia. That's why India don't have any role in that. Okay, you can see here. I also written the places in use, under which the Kaladan multi-modal transit project was in use. That's why I written from where our orders will go, from where we will reach to the northeast India. I will clearly mention from Kolkata to northeast. Okay, from Kolkata to northeast. I also mentioned here about the Mekong River. From where it originates? It originates from the Tibet and it drains into the South China Sea. You can see here I written this also. It is from glacier melting of this water comes from the melting of the glacier in the Tibet. Okay, the Mekong Delta is present in the Vietnam. It's called as rice bowl. Okay, and the Mekong River passes through China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. You can see here. And another important thing also here, you can see Indonesia. Indonesia capital Jakarta. This is important because our prime minister went to the Indonesia. Okay, during 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations. Okay, there is a chance of asking about the Indonesia, so that I written the Indonesia consists of 5 islands. Okay, which that is Java, Sumatra, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, and Papua. Okay, Papua. The Java Trench is the deepest trench in the Indian Ocean. It may ask in the geography, so that I covered it. Okay, I also written, you can see here, I also written Karaman city, which is present in the Iran because it was in news. Okay, you can see Darien Gap. It was in news. It is present in the South Panama as well as the North Colombia. It came in the examination also. Okay, like that you need to complete each and everything, guys. You need to write like this. How I wrote here, you can easily see here how shortly I written. Okay, you can also see the malaria free countries declared by the World Health Organization. Okay, it's not World Trade Organization, it's World Health Organization declared malaria free countries. That is Mauritius, Algeria, Cabo, and Belize. Okay, these are the countries were declared as malaria free countries. Okay, and here you can see I will also explain about the military exercises. You can see I just written Sri Lanka, and the military exercises is Slinex and Mitra Shakti. You can see the Indonesia, Samudra Shakti. Okay, you can see the Malaysia, Samudra Lakshmana. Okay, Samudra Lakshmana is different, Samudra Shakti is different. Okay, like that I made each and everything into these notes. I hope you people got the clear picture about how to do a notes and how it will be value added for our notes also. Okay, while revising the static portion you need to revise this also, so that it will be easy for you guys to remember. Okay, okay, in the next season I'm going to take the third question. Okay, see you guys, take care. Hello friends, now I am taking the third question, which is syllabus decoding. Okay, which is syllabus decoding. Okay, you can see here, you can see here the syllabus plays a key role in the UPSC examination, because everything in the mains is asked directly from the syllabus. Okay, you should complete all the key points in the syllabus, and the syllabus key points should be all round completion. Okay, all round in the sense you should have introduction, you should have conclusion, you should have body parts such as merits, demerits, and the main part points, and recent amendments, and the recent current affairs. Everything you should add in that book. Okay guys, okay, PYQs analysis is the most important. Okay, to decode the syllabus. Okay, by seeing the syllabus you can't understand anything. If you analyze the previous year questions of last 10 years, then you will get to know what are the areas which are more focused by the UPSC or any state examination. Okay, that's why PYQs also plays a key role in this examination. Okay guys, if you see here in the prelims examination, in examination, do complete main syllabus. Okay, do complete main syllabus which covers around 80 to 90% of the topics. Many people don't know about the prelims syllabus. Okay, no one knows about the prelims syllabus. They just mentioned about some topics, that's it. They don't know what they ask. That's why completing the entire mains topic will be weapon for this preliminary exam, because entire topics 80 to 90% are directly taken from the main syllabus only. Okay, for prelims solving the MCQs and current affairs is the only solution. Okay, for mains, okay, for mains write down the important mains questions. Okay, important mains question in the sense you need to bring the important topic, important themes from mains question, from PYQs. Okay, which are repeated regularly. Okay, I will show you the example, don't worry. You can see here effects of liberalization on the economy, change in industrial policy and their effects on industrial growth. This is present in the GS3. Okay, GS3 syllabus, you can see this point. If you have a syllabus, you can check this. Please pause the video, and once you check the syllabus, I hope you are doing that. You are checking about this point, right? Okay, the effects of liberalization on the economy and changes in the industrial policy and their effects on industrial growth. This is present in the GS3 economy topic. Okay, for this topic there are some PYQs which are related to this topic. Okay, I written PYQs. Okay, you see here, under which there are some themes which are regularly repeating in last 10 years. Okay, I written down each and every theme here. You can see here, from last 10 years there are, I got these 7 topics which are highly important and highly repetitive. I will read each and everything. You can see here, how to increase the share of manufacturing sector in the GDP. Okay, this is the theme. Manufacturing sector is the theme. Okay, failure of manufacturing sector, see here, theme is the manufacturing sector, failure of the manufacturing sector, reasons and what measures need to take. Okay, why industrial growth are lagged behind, why industrial growth is lagged behind. Okay, recent changes in the industrial policy. Okay, special economic zones, importance and their issues. Okay, service sector, can India become a developed country with the service sector? Okay, Impact of liberalization on India's economy, Indian companies. Okay, you can see here, you can directly see that manufacturing sector and industrial sector and service sector, the major focus is there on these three topics. Okay, you can see here, I written each and every theme clearly here. Okay, you need to, if they mention about a manufacturing sector in the examination, in the previous year examination, then you need to bring that manufacturing sector into one book, one page, and you need to brainstorm this into all round. I already told about the all round. All round in the sense, you should cover the merits, demerits, and you should also provide some suggestions, and you should think of introduction, and you should also write the conclusion. You should bring the recent changes in the industrial policy, the recent current affairs, everything you need to bring under one roof. Okay guys, so after completing this, I started making notes. You can see here MSME sector, I written here MSME, so that I brought here, I started reading MSME sector. I classified this MSME sector into micro, small and medium. And I also written the contributions of the MSME sector. You can see here the contribution, how I written. And I also written the importance of the MSME sector, the government initiatives and policies for MSME growth. What are the government taken steps to improve the MSME sector? Okay, and sectors under MSME. What are the sectors present in the MSME? MSME is not only related to particular, it include manufacturing, manufacturing service also. Okay friends, okay, you got, I hope you got the clear idea about the syllabus decoding. Okay, I will also show the another subject. You can see this is GS4 ethics. You can pause a video and go to GS4 syllabus. Okay, you can go to GS4 ethics syllabus, under which you can find a probity in governance, the concept of public service, philosophical basis of governance and probity, information sharing and the transparency in the governance. Okay, right to information, code of ethics, code of conduct, citizen charter, work culture, quality of service delivery, utilization of public funds, challenges of corruption. You can see these PYQs are related to this subtopic in the syllabus. Okay, so I brought these PYQs. Okay, the corruption, you can see here, corruption is the theme of the question. Okay, corruption, its reasons and measures. Okay, the work environment, cohesion and under undue influence. Okay, why probity is essential and measures to strengthen the probity in the governance. Okay, social capital and use in the good governance, e-governance, whistleblowers and measures to protect the whistleblowers, the social audit, public servants and their roles are expected. Okay, right to information, importance and its importance of right to information, challenges of right to information and official secrets act, that how that lead to threat for right to information. Okay, difference between the code of ethics and code of conduct. If you see, if you decode this like this, everything, the questions for particular topic, then it will be easy for you when you complete this topic in static portion in classes. Then you can directly come here and you can take these questions and write down the answers, and you can keep a separate notebook for answer writing also. Okay, I hope you people got a clear picture about the syllabus decoding. Okay, in the next video I am going to take the another question. Okay, which is fourth question. In this I am going to take the fourth question. Okay, which is how to start reading. Okay, many people think that from where should I start reading, whether I should take NCERT or whether I should take a standard book. What is the difference between both? Okay, I will clearly explain about it. If you take the NCERTs, the NCERTs provide a strong foundation about the particular topic. For example, if you take the democracy, the NCERTs provide a clear picture of importance of democracy, the challenges in the democracy and the reasons behind bringing the democracy. Okay, that's the importance of NCERT. If you take this standard book, the standard book does not provide the basics as it mentioned in the NCERT. Okay, it directly jumps into the main topic. However, the main topic is provides very high knowledge for UPSC examination. Okay, and you may get a questions that should I read all topics in the NCERT? My answer is no. There are some selective topics which are provided in the syllabus. Okay, and you may get another question also. Is is there any alternative, or can I skip the NCERT? If you ask me, then I will say yes. You can skip the NCERT, or there is an alternative also. That is, when you have a class notes which should include both NCERT as well as the standard books. You may get a doubt, what is the class notes? How will it be? Okay, I will show in this video. This is my class notes, guys. You can see here, I explained about the separation of power. In the Lakshmikant, he just mentioned about this. Okay, about this he mentioned. But he did not mention a detailed picture. But after seeing the NCERT, after reading the NCERT, I got a knowledge of this. So, in the introduction, I brought that the separation of power is introduced by the Montesquieu in his famous work called Spirit of Laws. When they ask in the examination about separation of power, I will introduce by this point. Okay, this point is not present in the Lakshmikant. Okay, friends. Yeah, this you can see in the Lakshmikant. Okay, friends. Next, you can see the constitutionalism or constitutional state or government, which is limited power, which you can't see a detailed notes which I provided here about the constitutionalism in the Lakshmikant. In the Lakshmikant, you just see about 2 to 3 lines about the constitutionalism. That's it. Another this topic I brought directly from the NCERT. Okay, you can see the principle of checks and balances. You can't find this in the Lakshmikant, but you can find this in the NCERT. But I brought this from both NCERTs. Okay, you can see here the country, nation, state, nation, nation state, and the civilization state. Many people don't know about this. This is not mentioned in the Lakshmikant. If they ask in the exam, then how will you write about this if you skip the NCERT? These are present in the NCERTs. Okay, that's why I brought this here by explaining very detailed. Okay, I explained what are important for the examination. You don't have a time to write an essay in the examination. Okay, for each 250 words question, you don't have 1 hour or 2 hours of time. You have only 9 minutes of time and 250 words, which is 1.5 page. Okay, 250 means 1.5 page, 3 sides of pages. If you write very detailed, then you're going to lose a marks, because whatever they ask in the question, that much only you should provide. They won't ask clearly about the country only. They just ask about all the things which is present. Okay, all the topics they ask. Okay, friends, you no need to go deeper into particular topic. Okay, you just need to know what is this, what is state called. Okay, you should know about this. Which include population, which include territory, which include a government and a sovereignty. This is called a state. And what is the difference between nation and the state? In the nation, we don't have a sovereignty. Okay, during the British time, we can see Indians do not have a sovereignty. That's called a nation. That I mentioned clearly here. It's sufficient to generate more points. You can by reading this one, you can generate 150 words. Clearly, you can generate 150 words. Okay, friends. You can also see here the functions of the constitution, which is clearly mentioned in the Lakshmikant, but not detailed, which I mentioned here. Okay, which is mentioned very detailed in the NCERT, but you don't want that much knowledge. Okay, you understood what I'm saying? It is very clearly mentioned in the NCERT. That much knowledge you don't want, but it is very shortly mentioned in the Lakshmikant, but it's very short knowledge. That's why I brought this topic from the both NCERT as well as the Lakshmikant, okay, which are important for the examination. If they ask about these functions of the constitution, you just remember these points. You will be sufficient to write a essay or 250 words question. You can see here, all I brought these points. Okay, the factor responsible for the success of the Indian constitution. These are very briefly mentioned in the Lakshmikant and very detailedly mentioned in the NCERT. If you sit and read in the NCERT, it will be around 20 pages, I think. If you read a Lakshmikant, it will finish in within half page, within 50 to 60 words. Then it's not sufficient for your mains examination. That's why I brought here. See how detailedly I explained about this. You can see here how detailedly I explained about this, each and every point. Making of the Indian Constitution. It's clearly mentioned in the NCERT as well as the Lakshmikant. You can read that, no problem. The composition also mentioned in the Lakshmikant. Okay, friends. Okay. You see here the types of electoral systems which are just mentioned in the Lakshmikant, which is clearly mentioned in the NCERT. Okay, that's why I just brought what is important for you. Okay, you don't want any example. By reading this, you just understand what is that. We don't want to spend 10 to 15 minutes by reading NCERT for this topic, first past the post system. Okay, that's why I brought here this topic. By reading within 1 to 2 minutes, you're going to understand about the first past the post system and proportional representation, PSRTV. PSRTV in the sense proportional representation with the single transformable vote. That is PSRTV. Don't confuse, guys. See, this I mentioned here. Okay, joint electorate, communal electorate during British period. We saw that, and you can't see this. You can see here. Okay, you can see everything in the Lakshmikant as well as NCERT. Okay, changes brought by the Indian Independence Act. You can see in the both the books. Okay, these are mentioned in the both NCERT as well as the Lakshmikant. The facts clearly mentioned in the Lakshmikant. Criticism mentioned in the Lakshmikant. Next, it's parliamentary system. In parliamentary system, the world political system are classified into two types. That is parliamentary system as well as the presidential system. This introduction you can't find in the Lakshmikant, but you can find in the NCERT. But it's too lengthy. You can't introduce, you can't put entire knowledge in the introduction, right? That's why I reduced that knowledge into some points. Okay, you can directly see this in the Lakshmikant as well as the NCERT also. Okay, friends, these are very easy points. You can find both. You find in both. Okay, coming to the federal system, federal structure. The federal system, you need to read this in the 7th standard, 8th standard, 9th standard, and 10th standard also. Well, coming to the Lakshmikant, it is mentioned just in 1 to 2 pages, which is not sufficient, guys. And this mentioned in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 9th and 10th, which is around 100 pages, I think, about the federal system only. If you read this 100 pages, it will be around 10 to 15 hours. It take around 10 to 15 hours. Okay. If you read this, it take around 2 hours, but you won't understand anything. What Lakshmikant is saying, you don't understand. That's why I brought mixing Lakshmikant as well as NCERT. I brought these topics here. You can clearly see how I mentioned here. Okay, you can see the federal structure, unitary structure. What is unitary structure? What is federal structure? The federal structure again is divided into two. Okay, what is confederation? The federal structure again divided into two, which is integration and disintegration. Okay, the world politics are divided into three types, which is unitary, federal, as well as confederation. I explained each and everything here. You can read it. Okay. And again, the federal system further divided into integration and disintegration. Okay. Integration you can see in the US. Disintegration in India. Okay, you can read them. I also clearly mentioned about the difference between the Indian parliamentary as well as the British parliamentary system. You can see here. Okay. It's a repetitive word. Sorry for that. I also explained about the majorities, types of majorities. You can see here how simply I mentioned absolute majority. Absolute majority in this I mentioned here. You can see it. With example I have mentioned here. See, total strength of the house divided by 2 plus 1. Effective majority, simple majority, absolute majority, special majority. Special majority are again special majority with rectifying 50% of states. Okay. Okay. Many scholars have given some insights about the Indian federalism. So I have written here also. This you can't find in the NCERT as well as Lakshmikant. I just brought this from current affairs as well as many books. Okay, friends. You can see here types of federalism, quasi-federalism. I explained quasi-federalism, symmetrical federalism, symmetrical federalism, cooperative federalism, competitive federalism. Okay, fiscal federalism. You can see here how I explained bargaining federalism. I explained detail about the bargaining federalism here. Silent features of the constitution. You can read by yourself, either in Lakshmikant as well as in NCERT also. Okay, I mentioned about here you can see I mentioned about the schedules, schedule from 1 to 12th. Clearly mentioned. You can see from first schedule, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 10th, 8th, 8th. Under 8th, I also mentioned official languages, classical languages. Okay, and very detailed about the parliament also I mentioned, amendments also I mentioned, 9th schedule, 10th schedule, 11th schedule, 12th schedule, everything I mentioned, the parts of the Indian constitution. Okay, the parts of the Indian constitution you can read by yourself by seeing the constitution. No need to provide each and everything, right? You are not a child to spoon feed. Okay, friends, let's come to preamble. You can see here preamble. I just brought some insights of major scholars. You can use this in the introductions. By reading this, you can use in the introduction. And these points are asked even in the preliminary exam also. Okay, like in previous year, you can see that in Berubari case, the Supreme Court has said that minds of the Constitution, the preamble is the minds of the makers of the Indian Constitution. That is directly asked in the UPSC examination by stating that it is related to which case. Then you can clearly say that it's related to the Berubari case. You can use this also in your introduction also when they ask about the preamble. This is very important. Okay. You can't find this in the NCERT as well as the Lakshmikant. Okay, okay friends. There are 4 aspects. I clearly explained about 4 aspects. You can see here the source, the nature of Indian state, goals of Indian Constitution, the date of adaptation. Okay. Okay. I explained each and everything. If you go to sovereignty, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, equality, liberty, justice, fraternity, I explained each and everything very clearly. You can't see in the Lakshmikant. But if you go to NCERT, it's around, if you read these entire topics, it will be around 6 to 7 hours. It's waste of your time and energy. That's why I brought all the topics, important topics here only. You can see, you just need this. By seeing this, by reading this, you can bring up to 150 words into even answers. Okay, I explained sovereignty, everything I mentioned here. I also mentioned about the secularism. You can see here the political system can be classified into 3 types, which is atheist state, theocratic state and a secular state. There are two types of secular states, which is Western European or French or negative secularism, and the Indian or Asian or positive or flexible secularism. You can read this. What is the difference between the Western secularism as well as the Indian secularism, and the critics also there for our Indian secularism. You can read this. Okay, friends. See how clearly I mentioned each and every topic. Okay, each and every topic I also mentioned. See here, what is initiative, what is recall in the direct democracy. In the democracy there are two types, which is direct democracy, under which there are tools called initiative, recall, and the referendum. Okay, referendum in the sense opinions of the people. Okay, now you can relate to this referendum to Tamil Nadu, where referendum is taking, the opinions of the students are taking whether to introduce a three language policy or not. Okay, you should link this static to current affairs. It will be very easy for you. Okay, you can see here how I clearly mentioned about this. Okay, friends, I hope you are well aware about the notes, how notes should be if you want to skip the NCRT, and how clearly the note should reflect. Okay, friends, I even also brought about the cases also. You can see here there are some cases related to whether the preamble is part of the Indian Constitution or not. These can be either asked in the preliminary exam as well as the mains examination. Okay, you can see Berubari case, Keshavananda Bharati case, under which what Supreme Court has given its judgment. You can directly write in the mains examination this. You can't find this in the NCRT as well as the Lakshmikant. Okay, friends, in the LIC case I brought here LIC case like that. Okay, friends, I hope all doubts are clear about the NCRT as well as the class notes. It's better to end this season here, right? Okay, friends, I will take another question. Okay, I hope you people are clear these questions, right? If you want to skip the NCRTs, you should have the class notes, which is here. If you want, I will provide the class notes, the entire class notes of all subjects. All subjects, you note down, all subjects I will provide. It's very clear, guys. Okay, just you need to contact this number 7676 367071. If you contact me, if you message me to this number in the WhatsApp, then I will send you this PDF. Okay, thank you. The next topic is the importance of the revision. The importance of the revision. Many people, many students neglect the revision procedure because they feel bored by doing a revision. The toppers, if you see the toppers video, they will say that revision is the key to success. Okay, whatever you read by seeing your notes or current affairs, if you don't revise, then it's a waste of your time, waste of your energy also. So in this video, in this class, I'm going to tell you about the importance of the revision. Okay, every day you need to revise, you need to keep some time for revision. Whatever you have read today, that will be revisioned tomorrow by keeping some time for revision. Okay, so that it will, the topics whatever you read today, if you revise tomorrow, these topics will be remembered for long period of time. Okay, and if you skip this revision daily basis, then it is very difficult to bring back your topics again at the end of the subject. Okay friends, so what you people need to do is simple. While you reading particular subject, example polity, if you're reading 4 hours polity, then today, then you should keep 1 hour for revision tomorrow. Whatever topics you have covered today in the polity, you need to revise each and everything in tomorrow. After revising, you need to take out the test. I already told about that in previous class. Okay friends, after doing the revision, after completing the entire polity, you need to provide 2 to 3 days for revision. It should be in your timetable. If you do a revision immediately after completing the entire subject, then it will take very less time to revise entire topics, because you have already read about the subject very clearly. If you skip the revision after completing the entire topic, entire subject, then after few months you are going to do revision, right? Then during that time it will be very hard for you. It will create some pressure because it takes more time. You feel that it's very time consuming and it's very bored. So in order to reduce that, you need a regular revision of subject and subjects. Okay, that's why you need to provide a 1 hour revision time in each and every day. This should reflect in your timetable. If you skip the revision, then you are out of the race. Okay friends, initially it takes 5 days to revise entire subject. Okay, later it will be 3 days. Eventually it will become 1 day. Okay, if you revise this and make a short notes, this will benefit you during 1 day before the examination. Okay, you can't read the entire subject by seeing the notes, by seeing your handwritten notes 1 day before the examination. If you do so, you are not able to complete off subject also for the examination. Okay, I hope all doubts are clear about the revision. Hello friends, I am taking the 6th question. You can see here. It's about short note making. Okay, as you all know about the importance of the short notes. Okay, many people, I have seen many students who are not able to make a short notes because they wasted entire time in the revision and reading the same things, but they neglected the short notes. They will face the difficulty during 1 day before the examination, because 1 day before the examination, example 1 day before the preliminary examination, you need to complete entire 7 subjects, which include polity, geography, history, environment, science and technology, like that. Everything, the 7 subjects you need to cover. For that, if you go through your notes, each subject notes, then it will take around 7 to 8 days. You will not able to complete even off subject on the 1 day before the preliminary exam. So that the short notes plays a very important in preliminary as well as the mains examination. Okay, let's discuss when to make a short notes. Okay, when to make a short notes means after completing 2 to 3 revisions of entire subject. Okay, if you take a polity subject, after going through 2 to 3 times revision, you need to start making a short notes. Okay, in short notes only points you should bring, that points you are not able to remember. Okay, okay, but you need to bring all the subheadings. It's very important in the short notes, but under the subpoints, only points which you can't remember, that one should reflect into your short notes. Okay friends, that point you brought into the short notes, that should provide a clear picture about the entire topic. Okay friends, What I'm saying here is, whatever you bring that point into your short notes, by seeing that point, you should have, your mind should think and provide a knowledge about entire topic, about that particular topic. Okay, I will show my example. Wait. Okay, I am showing here the environment, my environmental short notes, you can see here. Okay. Here you see, I just take a trophic level. Okay, here I mentioned a trophic level. I just mentioned a diagram, and I just mentioned only 10% is transferred and 90% is lost. And I also provided some note here. You can see species may occupy more than one trophic level. Okay, by seeing this picture, I clearly bring entire topic, like the trophic level represents the hierarchical stages in a food chain, showing the flow of energy from one organism to another. There are generally 4 to 5 trophic levels in an ecosystem. The first one is producers. The first trophic level is producers, under which the grass, trees, and planktons are there. The second trophic level, which is primary consumers, such as deers, cows, rabbits, grasshoppers. If you coming to third trophic level, which is secondary consumers, that are frogs, snakes, fox, and small fish. And if you come to fourth trophic level, that is lions, eagles, sharks, large fish. If you come to fifth trophic level, then there are tigers, killer whales, and human beings. Okay. By seeing this, how I brought the entire topic into my mind, like that. See, by seeing this diagram, I can write entire 250 words answer. Okay, by seeing this diagram and this ending. Okay, like that you should bring the points. Okay, I hope you people got understand about this. Okay, you here see, here I mentioned here, right, about this. By seeing this only 10% transferred, I will explain that at each trophic level only 10% of energy is passed on, while the rest is lost as heat. This is why the ecosystem supports fewer top level predators. Okay friends, by seeing this, I will explain about this. I hope you people got a clear picture about what should reflect into your short notes. And I also show wait, I will show my polity notes also, which I already shown my notes earlier video. That notes I will show here. See the polity notes, you can see here the polity notes. In my class notes, I written about the separation of power. The heading I directly brought here. Okay, I can't remember this name, that's why I brought here. And this, it is fact, right? I brought here, that's why I brought here. And this is very easy, because during initial time I brought this, but now I will easily remember this and no need to bring about this. Okay, like that. If you see each and everything, functions of the constitution, here also I brought many things which I can't remember by saying this. Okay friends, see here committees of Constituent Assembly: Jawaharlal Nehru Committee, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Committee, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Committee. The question were arised directly from here in the previous year question paper. If you see 2024 question paper, preliminary question paper, that question came from here. Even I also confused about the status committee, I think states committee or rules procedure committee. I confused about this, and I marked it is headed by the Jawaharlal Nehru. So my question got wrong. That's why the short notes plays a key role. Okay, you see the entire, I written the entire committees of Constituent Assembly in 1 to 2 pages. That I clearly I brought here in 4 to 5 lines. You can see here, guys. I brought the entire committees in 4 to 5 lines. These are the important committees which you can either use in the preliminary as well as the mains exam also you can see here I also mentioned about the parts of the Indian Constitution. You can see part 1, part 2 union, and part 2 citizenship, okay, part 4 DPSP, part 4A fundamental rights, and its constitutional amendment also I mentioned. Like that, even I mentioned the 22. See how 20 amendments. Like that, I also mentioned about the schedules. I already shown there, okay, about one first schedule to 12th schedule municipalities, okay, along with constitutional amendments I brought here. Anti-defection law 10th schedule, 52nd constitutional amendment, okay, like that. Okay, if you come to parliamentary system, I also explained about this in earlier in my notes. Okay, if you come to preamble, I also shown my class notes in earlier question. If you did not watch that, please go and watch. It will provide some insights. Okay, these are facts. These are facts. I can't remember this, so I directly bought this here. These are directly asked into preliminary as well as the mains examination. Okay, here you can see the components. I written the components in 5 to 6 pages in my class notes, but I just written in 4 to 5 lines, 4 to 5 points. I just written entire 5 to 6 pages. I just written in the 4 to 5 points. You can see here. I shown my class notes right in the earlier video, under which I explained clearly about the justice, liberty, fraternity, equality, and the fraternity. And I also explained about the dignity, status. Like that, I explained each and every topic. Whatever you seeing here, I explained each and every topic. So it took 5 to 6 pages. But I remember I also revised 2 to 3 times my quality notes. That's why I don't want to remember. I don't want to bring those points here, because I know that those points, what is justice called, what is liberty called, what is fraternity, what is equality called, that I remember clearly. That's why I don't want to bring. I brought these points because if I see this, then I should remember each and everything. These short notes act as a framework for your knowledge. Okay, these act as a framework for your knowledge. Okay, friends. See, I just explained 2 to 3 lines about each thing. You can see here 2 to 3 lines I just explained here. Okay, see how shortly I explained each and everything. I also mentioned some cases also when coming to the constitutional amendments of the Indian Constitution. The process of amendments I clearly mentioned about here. Till now 106 times the constitution has been amendment. The recent amendment is women reservation bill. Okay, you should bring that when they ask about the constitutional amendment. Okay, there is a cases about whether the amendment bill article 368 comes under the article 13 or not. You can see here the cases is Shankari Prasad case, Golaknath case, 24th constitutional amendment, Keshavananda Bharati case. I brought 4 cases and I explained 2 to 3 lines of each case. If they ask in the mains examination, then it will be very easy for me to write these cases very easily. See, I just explained entire amendments in just 25% of the page, 25% of the one page. So my entire polity took only 15 pages, only 15 pages of short notes. If you see my class notes, it's around 100 pages. I think the 100 pages is reduced to 15 pages. That is the power of short notes. I can revise this entire 15 pages short notes within 4 to 5 hours after 1 month or 2 months. If I read regularly, then it will be, the hours will be reduced to 1 to 1.5 hour, 1 to 1.5 hours if I start reading from now. Okay, during one day before the examination, I will complete this entire short notes within 1 to 1.5 hours, because everything is structured into my mind. whatever, if I close my eyes, the entire short notes will reflect into my mind, which clearly showcase which point is present where. It's the power of, that is the power of short notes. Hence, don't underestimate the power of short notes. If you neglect in making the short notes, then you are going to lose this race. Okay, because we are not doing only one subject, right? We need to do multiple subjects. For that, short notes is very important one day before the examination. I hope all of you got a knowledge, a clear knowledge about the short notes making, guys. Okay, if you want my short notes of entire subjects, I will provide you, guys. If you message me in the WhatsApp to my number 7676367071. Okay, if you message me to this number in the WhatsApp, I will send you the PDFs of all the short notes which I have. Okay, friends, and if you want this video, this thing, like if you want to write down anything here, this also I will send you if you message me to this number. Okay, the overview also I will send you.